All right, welcome to From the Couch Sports Talk Radio, Sports Talk Roundtable. How you all doing tonight? We were going to try to get through the night without a hawk to it, but David already blew that shit up. So we got one of those. How you doing tonight, David?
Hey, I'm doing well, Sean. What's happening?
Nothing much. KD, how you been?
What up? How y'all doing, man?
Doing all right. Eric, just got back from vacation. How you doing?
Happy Wednesday. Doing good.
All right. Jeffrey, driving, looking all slick. Man,
Yeah.
you rolling.
Yeah, Eric got back from vacation and immediately went back into his fool. Like I thought the vacation would give him some clarity, but no, it only added to his foolishness. And I'm just talking. I'm kidding, Eric. Don't get upset. I'm joking. It's only a joke. Come on. It's good to see all y'all.
All right. So let's quick talk about one of the biggest things that happened this week in sports was the NHL Game 7. I did not watch it. Did anyone here watch Game 7?
I did.
Yeah,
Okay. So anybody who has watched Game 7, what do y'all think? I mean, Florida's up 3-0. They lose 3 in a row, and they come back. They win the last one. What was going on there?
The big difference for me was they had the shots on Edmonton, had the shots on goal still there. It's just they couldn't get anything by the goalie. Whether it was offsides or whatever it may be, it was always something with their shots on goal. So I think that's the biggest thing is like, hey, okay, you had the home crowd or whatever if people want to use that, but it was still 2-1. So when it came down to it, like some of those shots on goal, if you could have got a little bit of momentum or luck to swing your way, I think we're talking about a different outcome. And that was just the big difference to me. So.
And I look at it. This was a series of Connor McDavid decided to show up in games 4 and 5, and they won Game 6 without Connor McDavid. I don't think Connor McDavid registered a shot in Game 6, and I think he might have taken 2 in Game 7. I thought it was an injustice to Bobrovsky and the team for the playoffs that Connor McDavid was named the Conn Smythe winner, which is the most valuable player in the playoffs. I know he did. I think he beat Wayne Gretzky's assist record in the playoffs. But again, my issue with it all is I really think, even though they kind of dove, I think Bobrovsky really deserved that MVP just because he came back from, getting like shelled in 3 straight games. And when it came time to hold, he did, and he did an exceptional job, especially in the last 8-9 minutes of that third period when Edmonton pretty much lived in the Florida zone, and he held his own. So, I mean, I get why they gave it to Connor, but like I said, all in all, I thought it was a great series. Both teams played.
Bobrovsky, he wins it if they don't lose 3 in a row. I mean, that's simple. And what's interesting is because it's not that they lost 3 games in a row. It's that they got destroyed 3 games in a row. And that tallies up against the goaltender, right? Bottom line is if they sweep him, then he's the MVP. Even if they won in Game 4 or Game 5, excuse me. But McDavid, the bottom line is McDavid. I think the only Gretzky twice, Lemieux once, and then McDavid. That's the most points in playoff history, and McDavid's going to be the Conn Smythe winner because he didn't get swept. But that being said, the Game 7 was the best game of the series, 2-1. But the second goal Like it was tied 1-1. It was so tense. There was, I mean, energy all around. It was a great game 7. And the fact that it came down to 1 goal was phenomenal. I don't disagree so much, David, because it's tough for me to look at a winner of the quote unquote MVP trophy while they're losing. But again, when only 2 other people, just it happened to be Gretzky twice, have more points in a playoff than you, that it's gonna be that way, right? So now, great series, great. I mean, game 7s are always great. I mean, however they get there, right? It is what it is.
Eric, what are your thoughts?
Historically speaking, game 7s always come down to a couple mistakes, and which team capitalizes on those mistakes. So you don't see an 8-7 or an 8-5 game in a game 7. You see a 2-1 nearly each time. So that's what you got here. I watched the game. Florida capitalized on a couple crucial mistakes, leaving the zone that Edmonton made. The better team didn't win the series. The better team was the team that got down 3-0 and that took it to them. But ideally, in a game 7, that better team doesn't always win. It's which team capitalizes on which mistake. That's what happened here. Good for the Florida Panthers and their 17 fans.
All right. I just want to quickly point out the hatred that Eric is displaying behind him right now. KD, it's a good thing you've moved out to the West Coast because, you were close enough to Eric to reach him, and you might want to punch him in the face because that is fucking brutal.
Hey, look, we got our own little bet going on, so I'm gonna basically lavish in it. I'm gonna load in it at the end of this year. So
what's in the background? I can't see it.
It's
a Black Queen jersey
and a Michael Jordan jersey.
Oh, I thought it was 2 Steelers jersey, one that said Jack and one that said off.
Oh, here we go.
It's Jag-off, not Jack-off. Get your answer right.
Wow. Well, I
don't speak ridiculousness. That's the problem.
Hey, I did coin the phrase KD's wall of horrors, right, Eric? I did coin that phrase, so had to put that up there.
I'm also wearing a Caitlin Clark jersey tonight, so I got the
hey, that fits you very, very well.
Well, he can only wear girl sizes because he can't fit it in the men's. But anyway,
geez, here we go. Don't let him talk to you like that, Eric. Don't let him talk to you like that.
Hey, Paoli, welcome aboard. We missed you the last couple of weeks. Glad to see you. You've tuned back in. I appreciate it. So I got a couple of NFL things to talk about, and then we'll get into our buy or sell and who's that player. But first, if you please like, share, subscribe to all of our content here, so you don't miss anything that's coming up. Would help us out a lot. So number one, we've talked about this quite a bit in the past, but nothing seems to be moving, and there's reports keep coming out about this Brandon Ayuk thing. I'm starting to believe that he's going. He's gone.
Just listen to her right before I tuned in here, Sean, to log in. I'm listening to NFL Talk, and they had the meeting Monday, and at this point, San Francisco, by virtue of reporting, San Francisco is moving forward with Ayuk on their team for this year. Ayuk said it was a good meeting. He did not request a trade. It looks as though they're still working on a long-term deal, but at the end of the day, it looks like one will not be reached. But he is in the plans for this year based on the report that just came out when I was listening to it 15 minutes ago.
Okay, thank you.
Well, no, I
think we all still have different opinions. I'm just telling you what the report was.
Right. No, but again, Sean, I think the biggest problem with Ayuk at this point is he just does. He has no leverage in this fight, and I think he knows that. I mean, I think he went in there, talking to them about, if you don't want me, move on. But the fact is, the things that what San Francisco wants in return for this guy is probably unfathomable or unreasonable for any team when he can be a free agent next year. So San Francisco, from a team perspective, holds all the cards in the Ayuk trade scenario. So, he's either going to play this year or, like I said, hold out for the first 8 weeks and then join his team and finish the season and play his cards next year.
I don't think he holds out, but I think that there's the same thing you just said kind of plays against it too, though, David. I just say that he holds no leverage in the fact that everything you said, but San Francisco after the year holds no leverage and he'll walk, right? So I think that there's a place like they're going to meet the precipice and someone's going to make a decision, because at the end of the day, if they don't sign him long term, then he walks at the end of the year and they get nothing for him in return. If they trade him, at least they get something for him if they know they're not going to re-sign him to a long-year deal. So I think there's a multitude of ways to look at it, and this isn't the first receiver or player in the NFL that we've talked about in this specific scenario, and it typically works itself out, typically one way or the other, right? And we just don't ever really know which way it's going to go, and whether that's all of a sudden they reach a contract extension, he gets traded, or he holds out, or he just plays, right?
I think the best case scenario for Ayuk, and I'll let you guys talk because me and Jeff aren't going to talk about this. I'll let you guys speak on it. But I think the best case scenario is for Ayuk to play well, and hope that a contender, suffers an injury at receiver, and San Francisco can get a better compensation package than what they're probably currently being offered. And Ayuk by midseason might be on the move. He might be a midseason trade candidate. We'll see.
All right. I want to quick welcome Anthony to the show. Thank you for watching, Anthony, one of our loyal fans. Paoli, we hear you. And we'll get to Reddick a little later. But KD, your thoughts on the Ayuk situation?
So it's cool that we're still talking about the trades, but as the weeks and weeks goes on, that trade, whatever package was, it dampens. It goes away. Here's the reason why. Because it's exactly what Jeff said. I know you're going to lose him anyway within a year. So I'm not going to offer you the kitchen sink for this guy. And I know, hey, for one, if he doesn't sign long term with me, it is a rental for however many games are left throughout the season. So again, it's kind of like what happened with Derrick Henry last year. Hey, we had the perfect package. They agreed to it, yada, yada, yada. But then it was like, no, he's probably going to leave anyway. We're not going to get much from Baltimore. So, hey, hell no, stay put, and we'll just sign him in free agency. That's what I envision is going to happen. Now, if he didn't come out and say, hey, look, he wants $25 million or $30 million a year or some crazy number that he put out, maybe we can talk about this and say, hey, look, all right, maybe he could have got a team to give up a kitchen sink or whatever and say, hey, look, all right, we think we can sign him long term and not realize he wants $30 million or close to $30 million a year. So, but I do like this because, hey, this is what I think about this. Hey, that's to your playoff hopes for Pittsburgh.
All right. So, Eric, do you want to tell us how Ayuk's going to be a Steeler in the next couple of weeks or what?
I don't think he will. Honestly, I don't think so. They've got lots of money to spend, and they'll spend it somewhere. But, they've got too many people that are going to need the ball, and you can't get Ayuk the ball and keep everybody else happy with what they're going to run. So I don't think it works. And plus, I just don't see them spending the money because they're going to have to pay George the money next year anyhow. So I don't think it happened. He goes there, but I think he plays the season, and I think it hurts San Francisco down the road because in a crucial game, in a contract year, he'll have to make a business decision over the middle, and I think he'll make a business decision, and I think it'll hurt San Francisco in a crucial time because you fuck around and find out, and they'll find out when you don't pay a guy what he's worth, and he doesn't have leverage. Well, I mean, he goes out there, makes a couple sideline catches, convinces you that he's all bought in, and then come middle of the season night, hey, I'm sacrificing myself for the team because you won't sacrifice for me. And so I think that'll happen here. And, I think it'll cost San Francisco. It's bad business, and people aren't going to want to go there. That franchise will be back in the tank in about 4 years.
All right. I'll Paoli asked about the Reddick situation with the Jets. Reddick is in Tokyo vacationing and blew off the Jets minicamp. I'm not so worried about it. I mean, he's
he's hanging out with Aaron Rodgers. It's kind of a cultural thing.
Yeah, probably. Maybe they're in a darkness retreat together. I don't know, but coming over to the Jets, I don't think they quite gave him what he was looking for. It'll get done. And anyone making a huge deal over these mini camps, it's not. I don't think it's. I understand they're important to get to know your teammates and everything, but it's not like training camp where you got to get your ass out there and work. David, go ahead.
I just want to disagree with you. I'll disagree with you on this. If Aaron Rodgers missed just the regular OTAs, that's one thing. They're voluntary. But when you miss mandatory, okay, Tom Brady over the course of his 25 years playing, towards the middle to the end of his career, he missed some OTAs. He didn't show up for the voluntary stuff, but he never missed mandatory. And at the end of the season, Aaron Rodgers specifically called out every Jet player who brought bullshit into the locker room. And when your leader decides that something is more important that he put on his calendar than being there for a mandatory minicamp, yet you're calling everybody out and saying you got to keep the BS out of your locker room, yet you keep creating the BS outside of football in your locker room, that's crap. And that's not a leader, and that is somebody who is in it for himself. He could be the greatest quarterback of all time, but he is definitely an issue for the Jets, and this is going to be an issue.
Okay, anyone else have any thoughts?
My only thing is this, right? At some point, you gotta have a temp check of the organization, of the team. Where are we trying to go, right? If somebody within the top 5 leadership positions of that particular organization say, "Hey, I believe we have a Super Bowl contending roster," then we need to act like Super Bowl champions, right? And if they believe that wholeheartedly, I need to see that. Lead by example. I got it voluntarily, involuntarily, whatever it may be. Every chance we get a chance to meet in jail, we need that. Because, again, if stuff starts to go sideways, there's going to be a lot of adversity that's going to strike that organization. And then with that adversity striking that organization, what better way to say, hey, look, all right, I know what it's going to be like once our feet are held to the fire. And I just think they're not getting that right now. There's a lot of moving pieces coming into the Jets organization. And I just think, look, the more time you spend with each other, the easier it'll be once that adversity comes out.
Eric.
So I don't disagree. I do think the Jets on paper have the best team out there, but another fuck around, find out moment. You go around and your leader's not there when you need him to be there. It'll hurt them in the long run. And there are other teams in that division that can compete that are coming. Miami, New England's not as far off as the rest of my panel thinks, and Buffalo is there. And so Buffalo's there. So, I mean, you just want to hand it back to Buffalo when you got a chance to take them out. And boy, do you have a chance to take them out right now because they're born. Now's the time. But you go around and don't take it serious? Okay, well, that Buffalo will stay there because you're not taking it serious. So, yeah, it's not a good look. Maybe things change as training camp comes on, but he needs to get his shit together.
All right, so I'm just going to say this, right? And I don't give a shit who shows up and who doesn't, personally. But this goes back to the conversations of Eric's constant conversation about the Jets. They're going to win the Super Bowl. And then tell me that Pittsburgh's not going to finish in 4th because it's the same basis. We're talking about leaders of teams. Salah, however you say his name, I liked him in San Francisco as a defensive coordinator. I like him as the coach of the New York Jets. But this is a question to his leadership. Last year was a question to his leadership. I mean, it's been a question of his leadership since he got there, and he's not that far into his tenure. What is this, year 3? I think it's year 3 for
3 or 4.
And so we're going to, it's 3 or 4, right? I mean, whatever. But
Four.
it's not that far down the road. But no, it's year 3 because
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
whatever. Either way, this is everybody's talking about leadership and Aaron Rodgers' leadership and Reddick's leadership. The coach's leadership is still in question, and it's been in question. So everybody checking the blocks of the Jets being a Super Bowl caliber team, I have never once said to anybody that I believe that Jets aren't a competitive organization within the whole NFL. I've said it for 3 years. Now, I'm saying the coach is the one that is questioned, right? He's the questionable one. And then, of course, Aaron Rodgers coming off a significant injury. But leadership starts at the top, and that's not the top player that's not showing up. It's the top coach that's not setting the cultural standard that moves it forward. Because
Jeff, 100%, 100%. I agree. That's on Saleh. So, and I don't think, to your point, I don't think you can compare an organization that has strong leadership to an organization of the Jets. So the Jets have been bad, and they've been consistently bad, and you're starting to see some of that bad behavior. Here you have an opportunity where a team that's been winning the division has 25 to 30% of their cap and dead money, aren't as strong as they usually are on paper. And you have a great team on paper, and you're not holding these people accountable. Now, I'm not ready to say they're not going to be as good as I think they can be because of that one incident, but it's not a good look and it's not a good start. And there needs to be accountability. Saleh needs to look, Aaron Rodgers in the eye and say, hey, we need you to lead by example. Got some young guys, got some guys that you wanted. We built this team for you. We have the coaches that you want. We need you to be here, and we need you to send the right messages, like other quarterbacks are doing, other quarterbacks that I share in the chat are doing. They're present, they're accountable. Those little things do matter. Leadership matters.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's too late because it happened, right? So those, and we tend to forget that because Aaron Rodgers played 4 snaps, he's been a Jet for over a year. I mean, so this meaning that he didn't tear his Achilles, and then Saleh never talked to him again, right? So the bottom line is through his rehab, through the whole season, the off season, up until now, I'm hopeful that the two of those people have talked, the coach and the quarterback. But the fact that he did not show up, they could have talked all day long. But and Saleh very well could have said, Aaron, we need you. Well, here's right back at you, buddy. This is what I'm going to do. It is rough. And we'll see. And I'm not crowning the Jets shit until they win games. But we're not doing that in the middle of June or end of June.
All right. Okay. So next topic, Mike McCarthy. So a former executive was talking to a guy who knew a person whose second cousin knew McCarthy. And they're saying he's getting a little fed up with the organization. Okay, my quick take on it is McCarthy, once this goes away, we never see Mike McCarthy again. Like, not even on TV. They're not going to – this is it. He's done. So he needs to shut the fuck up. And, if any of this is happening, he's just got to play along. I mean, does anyone see it any different than this? KD?
I mean, how could you not see the telltale signs signing to Dallas? Dallas has if you want to crown them as one of the winningest teams in the last 25 to 30 years, but they have never came to a full fruition of an NFC Championship winner or Super Bowl appearance or whatever it may be. It's been a hot minute, right? But they've always been in the news. They've always been on sports media. They've always been the talk of the town. So it's one of those franchises, those glory franchises, right? So he had to have known, hey, this is what it's going to be, right? And he had to have known, based off the past coaching experiences with that owner, he had to have known, hey, look, I'm going to be a little bit micromanaged, if you will. And then, oh, yeah, by the way, I don't really have no power. It's just like what we were talking about. I'm just a figurehead, right? Because at the end of the day, which particular Dallas Cowboy coach had true power? That was the demise of him and Jimmy Johnson's relationship, not giving that total control over the team and basically saying, hey, look, let me run the doggone team like I need to run it, and I can get the proper draft picks and so forth and so on. and that's why Dallas Cowboys moments of glory was short lived in the 90s. So now it's like, hey, okay, look, after we've done that, what have we done since? And it's always been because of, hey, look, this particular guy is ostracizing every coach that comes in, no matter what their resume looks like. And it's to the point to where I can see where he's fed up, but you can't sit here and tell me a quick Google search and you can see, hey, look, the writing was on the wall. This is probably not a great job to take.
Eric, what are your thoughts? And I don't know what that means, Mike. So Cowboys
suck. Cowboys suck eggplants.
Yeah. So okay, go ahead, David, since you have the tagline.
On that. No, but seriously.
I'm going to let Eric speak, then you'll go.
Yeah, Eric, go ahead. Speak.
No, go ahead first.
Oh, we're barking. Okay, David,
no, I just want to say, again, first of all, the fact that Mike McCarthy's a lame duck coach, okay, goes to show you exactly that after this year, Dallas will move on. I think when Jerry Jones first bought the Cowboys back in, 88? Was it 88, 89? Whatever year it was.
89.
Yeah, he was gung-ho. He was all about winning championships. And then after the championships went, for the last 30 years, it's been nothing more than making money off the brand of the Dallas Cowboys. So anybody who says that Jerry Jones wants to win a championship, no, Jerry Jones wants to win the championship of the money-making team that Dallas is in the NFL. His longing for an NFL championship and Super Bowl, they're gone. I mean, he hasn't done anything to put this franchise over the top. He's hired mediocre coaches after Jimmy Johnson. He had Bill Parcells for a little bit. And then after that, it's just been, there's with all the money that Dallas makes, with the prestige of the job that it is, he could have handpicked any head coach to be in that organization and make it successful. If he would have allowed that coach to make it successful. But Jerry is not that guy. Jerry wants to be the everything, from the cap manager to the general manager to everything, and he has no idea what he's doing. And he's about ready to lose 3 linchpins of his entire team, and then Dallas is going to go back to the 3-7 or 3-14 like they were in the mid '80s at 2-14. Just because he overindulges in the fact that he doesn't know what he's doing anymore in this day and age, and it's sad. It's sad. And again, I don't think Mike McCarthy should be the one to talk. I mean, he's a middling head coach, as far as I'm concerned. So he'll probably get a job again somewhere. That's just the way the NFL recycles coaches. So we'll see.
All right, Eric.
So I don't disagree. I don't think McCarthy's put in a great position. I think would be a great offensive coordinator. I think he's still innovative on offense. I think the offense isn't the issue in Dallas and won't be the issue this year either. I still think, you're in a division where your best competition is a dysfunctional family led by Jalen Hurts, who I'm not sold on. So it's not like it's an unattainable division. In fact, I think 9-8 or 10-7 might win that division. That's how much I don't think that division is going to be any good. Yeah, I can see that. But I think McCarthy probably's I think Jerry Jones. So this is part of the problem with leadership, right? You get these old guys who are used to leading a certain way. Times change, and they are resistant to change. They don't understand the complex world that's around them. They don't understand the changes that are going on. And then we look at them as old guys. We'll see a couple of them Thursday night. Tune in to CNN. A couple old guys who are trying to, lead, and they just don't have any idea of what they're doing. And so that's kind of what's going on. Is I think the time has passed Jerry Jones. He's refused to adapt. Players, I don't think anybody would want to go to Dallas because ideally the coaching is like, I don't want to work for that guy because he is controlling, and he doesn't allow that that growth that leaders look for in a job. And I just think it's a dysfunctional mess until Jerry Jones realizes that it's passed him by and it's time to sit up in a press box and just watch.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, so I think we're focusing completely on the wrong spot of this. Jerry Jones ain't do shit wrong, and Jerry Jones ain't going nowhere until he decides to. The reality of it all is Jerry Jones is a problem. Got it. He's old, he's the owner, and he can do what the fuck he wants. And oh, by the way, at the end of the day, is, I don't know, non-winning as they are, they sell more merchandise than any other sports organization in the entire world. So Jerry Jones is doing something well because he's a billionaire. So that being said, you talked about Mike McCarthy being fed up. I don't know where that came from, but if there's an ounce of truth to that statement, I would say this: buy Mike McCarthy today. Because here's the reality: Jerry Jones need not employ you. The fact that you got hired is much to the dismay of majority of Cowboy fans to begin with. The fact that you haven't done shit since being a Cowboy coach doesn't give you a mouth to speak from. I'll tell you what's interesting to me. We talk about the coaches since Jimmy Johnson, the Barry Switchers, the Bill Parcells. There's a bunch in between, and then Jason Garrett had a huge long run, right? And Jason Garrett was, to me, everything that a coach shouldn't be, right? I mean, he couldn't. There's just a lot of stuff he couldn't do, but he held on for a long time. The one thing that you didn't hear Jason Garrett do is say he's about fed up. And every year you could tell he was about fed up because the dude was getting played like a yo-yo, embarrassed regularly, but stayed professional until he got fired. McCarthy don't have to say shit. He hasn't done anything in this league to prove it. I think he's got a Super Bowl in Green Bay. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Got it. Good for him. And that was 20 plus years ago, right? I mean, it was a long ass time. It wasn't recent. So, neither here nor there. I look at this dude and I say, if you're fed up, bro, if you said that, just know that you might as well have quit, and Jerry Jones should fire you because you ain't worth the pot you piss in. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, from a Cowboys fan perspective, because you know what, David, Eric, you talk about Jerry Jones need hanging up. This is the first year. This is the first year that Jerry Jones hasn't done anything of notice, right? Of value to his team in the play or in the draft or in free agency. So year after year after year, Jerry Jones has gone out and pulled some good deals out there, spent some good dollars to bring in some free agents to do some things. And whether or not those people were the right choice or the coach couldn't coach them in a proper way, because he's brought talent, they just haven't won. So whatever that reasoning is, so be it. But it's not about Jerry Jones. This is about a dude who works for an owner.
No.
Hey, listen, it works for the owner. Say some stupid shit and you're fed up, then bye. Go.
But understand, Jeff, the one thing that I'll say about Jerry Jones, and this is like I say about teams with good general managers and so on and so forth, and this is where I have the issue with Jones. Yeah, like I said, he's all about making money, and he's made a shit ton of it, and that's great. He's the owner. That's what he wants to do. He's in this business to make money. Problem is, when it comes to your team, okay, you haven't been proactive in securing your franchise quarterback in Dak Prescott, because we can sit here and debate all we want, but Dak Prescott's a franchise quarterback. He's 100%. Okay, but the problem is you also have two contracts that are going to be massively huge, and another one right after that between CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, and Dak Prescott. And if you had a general manager and a cap manager to make you understand that, hey, maybe we take care of this one now, take care of this one, and take care of this one.
Hey, real quick, just so I'm very clear here, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying right now, but this conversation is based on a person saying that a person said that a cousin said that Mike McCarthy says he's fed up. All I'm saying is simply this: if it's true that he said it and it comes out that it's factual, then he needs to be fired.
Oh, I agree.
Here's the reality, right? I'm sure there are several coaches, to include Mike Tomlin, who at some point in time has been frustrated with his organizational leadership, and whether it be the owner, the general manager, or someone in between. You don't hear Tomlin saying it, and there's been years where people have been calling for his job and indecision about if they're going to extend him or not. He didn't say anything negative. He just continued to coach, which is what his job is. I'm sure that Bills coaches have been frustrated with the Pagulas and the Wilsons before. I'm sure that you can go out to San Francisco or go across 32 NFL teams. The coach of the team, I'm sure, has expressed in some way, some level of frustration with the way it's managed, because their job is to coach. The GM's job is to field the players, right? And then the ownership's job is to push and pull and approve certain things. All I'm saying is, I'm not hearing from 31 other NFL coaches that they're frustrated and fed up with the organization that they're coaching for. So what I'm saying is, if it was said, and there's validity to it, bye to his job, he doesn't deserve the shit anyway, because I don't give a shit if Jerry Jones is smart or not. You take that job. You take that job, like KD said, knowing what you're getting. The dude has been this. He's never changed, man. Like Jerry Jones to right now. Jimmy Johnson to right now. He's been the same dude. So if he didn't call Bill Parcells, Jimmy Johnson, Barry Switzer, Jason Garrett to say, hey, are all this shit's true? Then he's a fucking moron. But he's not. He knew exactly what it is. And if he said what he said, he needs to get fired.
So there's a couple things real quick, and I'll be. Well, he left. He's gone. We can move.
I'm not gone. No, I'm still here. I just hit. I don't even know what I did. I hit a button.
My bad. I was going to say, there's a couple things you said. Well, he sells, lots of merchandise, and he's making money, and that's what it's about. Okay, the Pirates did that for a long time, and their fans are revolting. So just watch how long you do that fuck around, find out thing, and you start putting profits in front of winning.
Did you just hear this phrase? Did you just hear this phrase? Because this is like the third time you said it tonight, man.
Hey, real quick, just to stand on something real quick. Hey, you can say that all you want because you're a fan and you want your team to win and you're revolt. The Pirates have sucked for their entirety since the 70s, right? I mean, truly. The Cowboys won 3 Super Bowls in the 90s. For 30 years, they've sold and they've been winning. They didn't win Super Bowls. They're putting on a field and then they don't win in the playoffs. I get it. You can say their fans revolting. When I'm telling you that they are the number one seller in the entire world, and I'm talking about soccer. I'm talking about fucking badminton. I'm talking about everything in the world. The Dallas Cowboys are the most sold and merchandised organization. They're valued at the highest. I'm saying that because whether or not you like what they've done and whether or not they're winners or not, business doesn't lie. He could want to win. And like I told you, this is the first year he hasn't made an effort by signing someone of value, right? And I'm kind of blown away. But he's done things throughout the last 30 years to bring players of value. It's not equating to greatness on the field or Super Bowl victories. But at the end of the day, the same way the Angels suck. The Angels are always bad in baseball, but guess what? They sell a lot. Why? Because their owner really doesn't care about winning, but they put people in the stands. Jerry Jones shows that he cares, and he markets it better than anybody else, even more so than, I don't know, the 2-time in a row Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. I'm telling you, it doesn't have to make sense.
Fact check. From from the 70s to the 90s, the Pirates were really, really good, and they actually won some championships in that time.
When was their last World Series, Eric?
Okay. Well, let's not go down this whole rabbit hole. Please, KD, you were going to say something, and then I'm going to say my last piece.
The only thing I was going to add to it is that, hey, at some point, it was no longer about winning, and it was about making money. At some point, there's a transition. That's what I was going to add to.
Okay. So my whole thing is, and this is how we're leaving it, and we're going to go on to the next subject, which is going to be a lengthy one probably, but Jerry Jones is basically if Trump and Biden had a love child who grew older quicker than they did, because that's exactly who this fucking guy is. So moving on to the next question, because I think there's 2 different answers to this, which are correct. Is getting to the playoffs enough to keep your job as an NFL coach? And let's start with Eric. You never get to speak first. Let's let you go.
Okay. This is a tough one. This is a trap because I know Jim's waiting for this.
I'm waiting for it.
Yeah. So here's the deal. Winning and winning a lot is important, but you have to show progress. And if ideally, you have to show progress with first step is let's get to the playoffs. Next step is let's start winning some games. So I don't think getting to the playoffs is it, but ideally you have to start progressing and getting better and getting out of the first round, getting to the second round, and eventually, if you have a franchise quarterback and you have the things in place, within the about 5 to 7 years, you got to get to a conference championship and win one. You can't just consistently muddle in the second round, especially if you have, getting to the first round without having the right pieces around you. It's hard to find a quarterback. So that is attainable. That's a measurable, attainable thing. That's a goal. Hey, we don't have the guy at quarterback that we need. So the goal is let's get to the playoffs. Let's be competitive. But if you have the guy and you have the pieces, yeah, you got to start doing more than just making the playoffs.
All right. David.
No, I think Sean McDermott should be fired because I think that he's gotten the least out of a lot of talent. So again, my theory is no, the playoffs should not, just making the playoffs should not be the ultimate goal. I agree with Eric. You have to make progress in the playoffs. Yes, there are times you can be a perennial playoff team. You can go to your conference championship one year, then regress and go out of the first round. But again, there are variables that afford that. Okay, injuries can play a role. It's overcoming those obstacles. So the year before, you might have been in a conference championship. You lose, 60% of your starting defense, and you're out in the first or second round. Does that mean that your coach was bad, or you just hit a string of injuries that knocked you out? So again, if you look at it from a black and white perspective, you have to take the variables. But again, at the end of the day, playoffs should never be your end goal and say, okay, I made the playoffs, so I'm safe. Okay. You have to be able to coach beyond what you've coached to get them there. You have to be able to take that next step and bring out that extra edge in those games, especially if you're a coach who's been there. If it's your first time as a coach and you go into the playoffs, you don't really know what to expect. But if you are a perennial coach that goes to the playoffs, you know what it takes to get to that point. And if all you can do is get to that point, you shouldn't be a coach anymore, because like I said, you have to evolve as a coach to get yourself to that point, let alone your team. And so I would say definitely playoffs is not a safe haven for any coach.
All right, Katie, I'm going to go to you last. Jeffrey's starting to fade out here. He's blacking out.
Turn on your interior light.
It's just dark. I mean, I'm listening. Y'all, you go ahead. Let Katie go. I'm listening to all these wonderful perspectives. But no, let Katie go first, then I'll jump in.
So,
right.
But I'm still here, though. By the way, I'm not
Katie,
a cat.
Can you turn on your dome light? You're getting dark.
So for me, man, I'm kind of impartial in between because I do know every franchise is not the same, right? I also know, like, hey, look, when you come in as a coach, the expectations are kind of low within that first 2 years, right? So you was to somehow, a horseshoe hit you in the middle of the season, and you're able to ride that horseshoe until you get to the playoffs and you make the playoffs. Do you immediately come back in with playoffs or bust expectations the year following that, right? But I do also know, hey, getting there is not the end state. For instance, hey, we line up our goals as a team. I know for a fact we don't say, hey, make the wild card and that's it. ... We're done. We made the wild card, so our season was a success. I do know there's some kind of life for the playoffs if they make it by every team. Because otherwise, why are you coaching if you're not trying to make it to the highest point of a season? So I kind of think, yes, it does matter, but then at the same time, it doesn't matter for most of the teams that have been making the playoffs because again, that ownership is going to grow tired of first round exits 5 years in a row.
All right, Jeffrey, what are your thoughts?
All right, good deal. My thought is I said 70s for the Pirates, so I'm right. And I don't even have a stat sheet in front of me, but thank you, Eric, for the fact check. So I was correct, and I'll move on from there. So I find these conversations really interesting because there's so many variables and so many words that were used that really excite me, but it also frustrates me and pisses me off. But here's the deal. Progress from a coach. It's so difficult to say what progress is. 1 year you're 14-2, the next year you're 11-3 or 11. I don't even give a shit. And to me, that's fake. That's fake progress or fake regression because the reality is that my schedule isn't the same every year and I'm not playing the same coaching staff or the same players. Because there's differences, the difference in my record doesn't show progression or regression. Now you talk about playoff progression and you could say first round exits or we moved into at least to the second round. We made it to the NFC or AFC championship game or whatever, and then the Super Bowl. I think it's funny though, because I'll just use the Bills as an example. I don't know. 4 years ago, we lost to the Chiefs in the playoffs by a lot. Then we almost beat the Chiefs, but then we went to overtime and lost, right? Within 13 seconds, but we lost by more than 3. We lost to the Chiefs by 3 this year. So if we're talking progression, I don't give a shit what round, we've come closer and closer and closer to beating the Chiefs every time. So McDermott's a fucking genius, right? So anyway, I'm just, because that's a direct comparison, not just about rounds, but team play against another team, right? Regardless of who's coming and gone. But that's all that being said. I don't believe that playoffs equate to saving your job. Although Mike Tomlin has had his job saved because of the playoffs, and we know that because 4 years ago the rumors were Tomlin was gone. 3 years ago Tomlin was gone. 2 years ago Tomlin was gone. Last year we talked about Tomlin being not extended and gone, and now we got an extension. So obviously playoffs is helping. I would say this though. Cautionary tales, right? Katie said it best. It takes time to grow. The reality is that because a coach's resume looks great and you bring him in to coach your team, there has to be some things that actually work. For instance, Buffalo hired whatever the dude, Rex Ryan. And Rex Ryan's defense was beastly with the Jets. He was the defensive guru. And when he got hired by Buffalo, Jim Schwartz had Buffalo ranked number 1 in overall defense. And then Rex Ryan came and said, we're going to move from the 3-4 to the 4-3. We're going to change the talent. I mean, we have this talent, but we're going to use it to the way I want to coach it. And what happened was we went to number 30. 30 from number 1 defense to number 30 with same personnel. So coaches have to blend in with the team in which they're going to. I remember distinctly there was a coach in Chicago. I think his last name might have been Fox, and I think he got fired after going to the NFC Championship game or something like that. The Bears haven't been to the playoffs since. So there's a million things that exist in this world when it comes to all this stuff. So there is no clear-cut answer. Progress is progress. Failure is failure. Blah, 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 blah. The reality is there's a coach that fits a specific a team, and you're not like a Buffalo Bills team doesn't necessarily become better because Andy Reid's the coach. But I would think they would be better. But at the end of the day, it's not necessary because is the talent there that fits the style in which it's going to take to learn to play. It's kind of like the Pittsburgh Steelers leaving Canada to go to Arthur Smith. 2 different coaches, 2 different offenses. Are they going to be able to pick it up because this guy throws 30, 16 intercept or touchdowns or whatever? There's a whole different room. Does Arthur Smith fit into that offense, or is he going to take the talent and skill that's in that room and make it better? There is no real answer. Playoffs shouldn't save a coach, but it should. I mean, but it also can't be the reason why you fire them if they don't make it within a reasonable amount of time. What's your expectations? So that's a long answer. We could actually go much longer because there's so many. This is a very big onion to peel through the entirety of it, but that's my perspective on majority of it, though.
All right. Well, I was going to go into my thing, but I've been distracted by David abusing and molesting his beard. Dear God, man, stop rubbing the thing. Gonna
Yeah,
rub
my
it
wife
off.
does the same thing,
David-
man. It's like, I
David's
don't know
rubbing
if I
his
wanna do it
beard.
or not.
Oh my God, he's
Hey.
like he was a
Listen.
13-year-old who just found it.
I know.
Yeah, I got to tell you, though, that's what it's like. That's what he's remembering. He's remembering his stubbly nutsack, and that's what he's doing. He's
definitely-
actually, it's
He's
rough.
definitely hitting the spots, right?
Wow.
Oh God.
Get it, Davey, get it.
All right.
up.
So
I
my
can't
answer
see
to
him.
this question is pretty simple. If you join a team that hasn't been good and you make the playoffs, yeah, that's going to get you an extension. But sorry, Sean McDermott, you're right. Should get fired. He gets you there. He gets you there. He can't get you over the hump. And this is a very loaded question because there's two very distinct answers. If your team hasn't made the playoffs in, like the Jets haven't made the playoffs in 12 years, to all of a sudden bring them to a playoff, you're going to get an extension, and so that's good enough to keep your job. But other people, not so much. All right, so let's bring up buy or sell before we start the intro to it, though. Next week we are going to be on Tuesday because of the July 4th holiday. And tonight with buy or sell, I'm going to read the buy or sell call on someone. They will either buy it or sell it. And then if anyone disagrees with them, they can do their whole why they disagree. And so we'll try to move it along because we got a couple things to do. We want to wind up the show by 6:30-ish. So let's go for buy or sell. David, roll that intro.
Buy or sell?
I'd buy that for $1.
Buy it. I'm buying it. I'm buying it. I'm buying.
They're selling, Mortimer.
Look, lady, whatever you're selling, I ain't buying, yo.
Well, you idiot. Get back in there at once and sell.
I am really hoping you downloaded the buy or sell slides from Gmail.
What's that?
Did you download the slides from Gmail?
You didn't tell me about that.
Oh,
Damn
Oh,
it.
Jesus.
Hold on. I can't.
give me
Son
a
of a-
David
second.
sucks.
Oh, dear Lord. I admit I did not tell him. It's going to take me half a second here. It's only 16 KB. So
You gonna do it or you want me to?
I'm on it.
Let's
All
have
right.
the guy that doesn't use the Dell computer do it, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, if David presses download, the whole computer's going to blow up.
Yeah, I know. I got a Dell. I'm gonna.
You are a Dell.
It's funny though, Sean, because like you're talking about me doing this to my beard. I was driving in the car going camping. My wife was telling me the same thing. Why the hell you keep playing with your damn beard? I'm like, I'm at that point where I either let it grow or I shave my face again. But I don't want to shave my face and be completely. But
No, let it grow. You look handsome. I can't even see you on here, but I'll pretend. I just want to see if you let it grow. People are trying to think that you're trying to look like me.
no,
It's good.
no, I don't want to do that.
Oh no, you do.
No, I don't really.
No, you do.
No, I don't. I'm good.
I mean, tell yourself.
No.
I mean, that's why you don't watch Shawshank Redemption, because you're just trying to prove the point. Like you're like, I'm not going to watch it because he wants me to watch it. Instead, I'm going to watch Brokeback Mountain and Desperate Housewives again for the 435th time. I just think it's funny that you can actually stand there with the mute button on and actually do the whole episode, every episode from the pilot to the ending of Desperate Housewives, and you've never
Why
once
not?
watched Shawshank.
Why
Who
not?
hasn't watched Shawshank?
What's that?
What's wrong with watching beautiful women on TV?
All right,
Well,
go ahead, put the slide up before we get into any more of this.
All right.
Nothing's one with watching them. It's when you actually relate to them very well.
All right, so Katie posted this the other day. ML Football on Twitter said Anthony Richardson will be MVP finalist and lead the Colts to an AFC South title. KD, since you put this on us, are you buying or selling this?
They're in the same boat as the Jags, right? So I would imagine the Texans are the favorite right now, right? But they need a lot to go right for them. And then Anthony Richardson, if he finished the season, I would have a little bit more film on him late in the season and basically say, yeah, I could buy it, but I'm selling it right now.
All right, is anyone buying this?
I could buy half of it. I could buy the fact that the Colts could win the division if Texans falter, but I will sell Anthony Richardson being the MVP. But I could buy the Colts
Based
winning.
on what I tell you, like, I am so confused. I really am. Let me say
No,
this.
we can't hear a damn word you're saying.
First of
so
all,
you're all good.
you can't hear me.
We get
Now we can.
You
Go
can hear
ahead,
me?
Jeff. Yep.
Okay, so all right, so check this out. First and foremost, any conversation with Anthony Richardson even being remotely close to MVP is absolutely ludicrous. Number one, first, blah, no, selling that, and then moreover, Indianapolis could win the division. Listen, Gardner Minshew, who is a decent quarterback, should be a starter in the NFL. He moved them pretty good throughout the year. I'm telling you this right now. There is no Colts winning the division. It's either Houston or Jacksonville. Indianapolis and Tennessee will be down there battling for third and fourth. Listen, I don't even think Jacksonville is great, but I think Jacksonville has done some things to improve. They shouldn't have been nearly as bad as they were last year, and they made some. They filled in some holes where they had them. This is not a real conversation. Indianapolis is not in this conversation. The fact that we're talking about it's crazy. No, sell all of it. Sell the Colts. As a matter of fact, move out of Indianapolis.
All right, so let's move on to the next one. And this is coming off of Sports Illustrated. There was a bunch of them.
You're not going to let Eric answer?
Does Eric need to?
Eric didn't answer.
I am sell. The only thing I'll say, add to it, is it would be a fun story if Joe Flacco took each version of the Browns or the Ravens or whatever weird triangle that is to the playoffs and ended his career because he's just obsessed with being every version of the Ravens.
Wow. Okay, so this one is by Connor Orr. Caleb Williams will finish with more TDs his rookie season than Peyton Manning, and Peyton threw 26.
Is this total
Eric,
TDs or passing?
Okay, if you want to answer.
No. I'm asking you a question.
What's
Eric
that?
can answer. I'm just asking, is this total touchdowns or just passing?
Peyton didn't run for any, so yeah, it's
okay.
Well, with more passing touchdowns is what it was.
I mean, this is a boomer bust question because Caleb Williams has the talent. I don't think he has the work ethic like other quarterbacks of similar ilk that come in with similar fame have. He's got the weapons, but sure, there's going to be a lot of pressure and expectation when he comes in and has a couple bad games. And how does he deal because he thinks of himself in a certain way? And I don't know if he has to. I have a lot of questions about Caleb Williams. I'm going to sell.
Okay. Who's buying? KD.
I'm buying for the simple fact there's nothing to do with Caleb Williams, nothing to do with the Bears organization. We're talking about a simple football metrics. So if we think that the Bears are going to be crap or it's going to take a couple of years for them to get things going, that means that he's going to be on the field a lot in garbage time. So I say, yes, he will eclipse the 26 touchdowns just because if their season goes bad or even if it goes good, he's going to be in a situation to get at least 26 touchdowns.
And he's got Keenan Allen. He's got who was the dude from last year? He's got
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore. I mean, he's got the weapons.
Yeah,
he's got the weapons to do it. David, what are your thoughts?
I will say that if it's all around touchdowns, rushing and passing, I say I will buy it. If it's just passing touchdowns, I will sell it.
All right, Jeffrey, you have any thoughts?
Man, he could throw 40. He could throw 6 because I think the thing that I think we're going to see. I mean, the reality is he's not. I mean, he's not very elusive. Like Justin Fields is elusive, and I know Caleb Williams can maneuver in the pocket. He's not slow, but he's not Justin Fields. So if we're really upset about the offensive line over the last 4 years, it's not like they completely revamped it. It's now all of a sudden good. They did some things, but nothing to make it a top 5 offensive line in the NFL. Bottom line is Caleb Williams is going to take some shots. Caleb Williams, we have yet to see him when he's losing. So, I mean, we've seen him winning. We saw him cry when he lost to mom. But when I'm talking about actually losing in a game, Katie, he could be on the field for a long time, but I'll tell you right now, his mindset is going to matter. And on the field or not on the field for a long time, in garbage time, we haven't seen him lose through college. So if what he did after he lost that game is anything to what he's going to be when he's on the field in professional football, I think he'll have far more interceptions than touchdown passes, personally. So I'm selling.
All righty. Next, these are all by Connor Orr. I took this article I found today. But anyway, Deshaun Watson will throw for 32 TDs and rush for 10 or more next year. Is there anyone who is buying this?
Nope.
Well, I'm going to sell, but I'm going to sell it for the thing that we haven't talked about, Sean. You had talked about Ayuk and talking about trade rumors, but the only person that really is of relevance that hasn't been to anything at all has pretty much been a holdout since after the season is Amari Cooper. I mean, there is no trade talk for Amari Cooper. There's no talk about Amari Cooper, but he hasn't been in uniform at all this whole offseason. So I say that because without Amari Cooper, Deshaun Watson is going to be he'll probably struggle already, just being the fact that he hasn't shown that he's that guy who was in Houston. But 32 touchdowns is going to be hard to do without Amari Cooper if they don't fix that real quickly. So I'm selling.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Does anyone else want to comment on this? Or are we just all selling this and this is complete bullshit?
I just don't see the offensive firepower around Deshaun Watson for him to throw 32. It's going to be tough. And he hasn't done it in the 3 years he's been there. And his problem is being healthy. And I haven't seen it in Cleveland yet. So, yeah, so.
All right. Let's go on to the next one then. 2024 will be the season of Sam Darnold. Does he hold on to his starting job in Minnesota and play the whole year? Anyone?
Absolutely selling. He's definitely not going to hold on to that spot.
Okay. Anyone buying?
Selling. J.J. McCarthy will win Rookie of the Year.
I'm buying it. Here's the deal. The only way, so Darnold will play until they lose games based on turnovers. So what I mean by that is, if Darnold doesn't turn the ball over, he's going to play. I mean, they don't want JJ to start this year, and he's not being competitive. Every report I've heard, there is no, it's really close. Sam Darnold is the guy, and he'll stay the guy until otherwise. And otherwise is either injury or they start losing games because of turnovers that are forced by Darnold. But until then, he's going to be the guy. And JJ McCarthy won't have enough snaps to be considered Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, well, I will say it won't be the season of Sam Darnold. But I will buy that he starts, but I don't think it will be the season. Like he's not going to have 5,000 yards and 45 touchdown passes. But again, I think it'll be his job to lose, and I think as long as he plays, he will continue to start.
All right, next one.
By the way, this is the best offensive team he's ever quarterbacked, just so you know.
Very true. Well, yeah. Bijan Robinson will surpass 2,000 yards in 2024.
No. So
anyone buying this?
Nope. Selling. Not going to get enough touches to do that. So
this Connor Orr is a terrible. Like this stuff is bad. This is like Jeffrey post Bills loss on a Monday bad.
Yep. Not too many of those though, Eric. But
much more Steelers.
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, no, I don't see that happening. But again, when I look at I'm not saying Bijan will get 2,000, but when I look at the offensive weapons that Atlanta has, I mean, I don't see a lot of playmakers on that offense besides like Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson anyway. I mean,
what about London? I mean,
well, he hasn't proved himself, but again, maybe it's the quarterbacks that he's had. But
maybe he had fucking Ritter, bro. Come on, let's get.
Well, no,
listen.
I'm just saying. Saying.
Well, Kirk Cousins hasn't thrown less than 4,000 yards.
Well, he had Matt Ryan until he. So I mean, he didn't play with Matt. He didn't play with Desmond Ritter every year.
Quick question: what if they took out the rushing and it was just 2,000 all-purpose yards? Are you buying or selling that?
I'd buy that.
I could buy that. But Dave, real quick, Matt Ryan did not play with Drake.
Yeah, he most certainly did. He was the quarterback until he went to the Colts.
The only way he gets this done is if he gets like 500 or 600 carries. I just can't do it.
If it's all-purpose yards, I would buy it.
Okay. Well, let's go to the last one, and then we'll go to who's that player. Aaron Donald will unretire and join the Rams for their playoff run.
Sell.
Yeah, I'm selling.
I am selling, and we're also selling Connor Orr and his job at Sports Illustrated, and I'm applying for this job tomorrow.
It would be equally as ridiculous. Steelers are going to be 42-3 with 6 2,000-yard rushers.
All right.
Cordell Stewart coming back.
There's a sliver of me that says maybe, but
no.
If all of a sudden he's not playing all year, it's not like he's going to be in football shape to come back and make an effect in the playoffs. I think it would be detrimental to the team.
I think Aaron Donald was about retired last year before he retired this year. So I think that removes all the doubt for me.
Yeah, I think he was very clear.
Oh, wait, Mike has a question. Mike has a question.
Oh, gosh.
Buy or sell? Jalen Hurts wins MVP. Sell.
What is it?
Jalen Hurts wins MVP.
I don't think we can talk about MVP right now because the reports are he's being outplayed by Kenny Pickett. So I'd worry about not being outplayed by Kenny Pickett versus winning an MVP.
Wow, don't be upset about it. Right. This time last year, everybody was outplayed by Kenny Pickett. You said he was a Pro Bowler, probably going to win the Super Bowl MVP. So I understand what people are saying about Kenny Pickett. It's just not through the months of September to February that he plays well. It's these months.
I mean, contrary to what Eric is saying, I've yet to hear that from anybody outside of Pittsburgh to say that's true.
Of course.
Yeah, Ed Bouchette from the Pittsburgh Gazette reported that Kenny Pickett was outplaying Jalen Hurts. He just wanted to feel good.
Okay, so Hot Pockets has given me a $20 wager that he will. And
I'll take it. Yeah. I'll take the $20 wager.
Yeah, he's talking to me. So, but I am. Yeah, you're on Hot Pockets, man.
Actually, Sean said he would like you to take him out to a meal at Applebee's, where riblets are half price after 6 p.m. and he can eat many plates of those wonderful Applebee's riblets.
You know, I actually looked at Applebee's locations versus vegetarianism, and the graphs do correspond as they have grown. But then there was a dip in 2001, and vegetarianism dipped. So I have come to the conclusion that Applebee's causes vegetarianism, which is a disease that we all need to fight. All right. So I'm going to turn the floor
over.
You say
vegetarianism? Is that what it is? Vegetarianism?
Yes. Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to turn the floor over to KD so we can play Who Is That Player? And KD, please give me an easy one, man. You always give me the tough ones.
Well, I think now I'm a little older. I think I got a good mix. I would like to say I got a decent mix.
Did you put Brad Smith in there this week?
Yeah, no shit.
The random gunner on special teams for the Jets. Yeah. Yes, I would definitely do that to you.
That shit was hilarious. What a moron.
So, all right. You can bring up my slides.
I will do that.
KD, I ask you to do this when it is my turn, right? Is that how you're going to pick someone?
No, you're going to go first again.
Yeah. Hold on. Who went first last time? Jeff did.
Yeah,
right?
I did. Look, David, shut the fuck up. What I was asking KD is, I can't see the screen. So if you would, when you do call on me, if you would please kindly read the teams and the years so I can at least then contemplate in my mind.
Okay. All right. I got you. I'll do that.
And Katie, can you do me one more favor when you do that? Can you read them so it takes him 1 minute and 50 seconds, so he only has 10 seconds to guess.
Gotcha.
That's fine, Dave. And you'll still guess Brad Smith or whatever the hell you did. It's a punter. It's a punter. It's a punter from the Green Mile. There is no punter there.
So the order would be Eric. Eric could go first, Sean, and then Dave, then Jeff. That's what we will start with. Okay. All right. So you good? You good? E?
Good.
All right. Here we go. First one. All right. Go ahead. Oh, Jeff, do you want me to read them to you right now? As soon as they come up, that way you can.
That'd be good. I mean, I can see San Francisco and Denver, but I can't see the years.
Okay. All right. So San Francisco 49ers, 1988 to 1993. Philadelphia Eagles, 1994 to 1995. Denver Broncos, 1996 to 2001. And Las Vegas Raiders, 2002 to 2003.
Okay, got it.
You got 2 minutes, E.
I 88 was before I was born, so I'm going to take a stab at this here real quick because I was born in 89. How about give me Trotter? That's probably incorrect.
Jeremiah Trotter?
Yep.
All right, let's go. Who's next?
Dear
Sean,
God.
it should be Sean, right?
Yep.
Yep. All right, Sean.
Oh my God, I have no idea. I want to say like Roger Craig or something like that.
Roger Craig?
Yeah.
All right. Who we got, Dave?
Oh, shit. Wow. This is freaking tough.
You don't get an additional 2 minutes, Dave. I mean, you got the 2. You don't get more than 2.
Oh, shut up.
Do you know the answer or no? No. That's kind of.
I'm trying to shut up.
You're trying to go.
Okay, I'm going to use all my 2 minutes, so you get no time whatsoever.
Oh,
all right, you got about 30 seconds.
I got the answer. Yeah. Are you done?
I'm drawing.
What was that? What was that? Gun?
Oh my God.
5. 4.
They called me popcorn.
3.
Popcorn, and then kids would rub my legs, and I'd get my blonde hairs on my leg. I have no idea.
All right, go ahead, Jeff. It's on you.
Yeah. I don't know either. I'll just be quick. I mean, David acted like he actually knew this shit. I was gonna say Ronnie Lott, but Ronnie Lott didn't leave.
Wow. Okay. All right. There you
George,
go. Good job, Georgie. Good job, Georgie.
Your fucking cousin, for God's sake.
Bill Romanowski.
Oh man, I should have known. Remember when he was on steroids and then broke people's faces and his own? Anyway.
Right.
Hey, Jeff, George knew it was a linebacker.
All right. So we go to the next one. All right, so we lead off with
Eric.
Oh my God.
Sean.
No, Sean. Should be Sean this time.
Sean. Hey, it's really dark out here.
All right, so Jeff, here's the choice. Here's the timeline. Pittsburgh Steelers 2009 to 2012. Miami Dolphins 2013 to 2014. Minnesota Vikings 2015. Baltimore Ravens 2016 to 2017. And the Philadelphia Eagles in 2018.
Oh, wow. A journeyman.
Holy crap. Well, I said to give me an easy one, but this ain't easy.
How many years did he play with Pittsburgh?
4.
3. Oh, 4.
Jesus. Mathing is not good right now.
Started with Pittsburgh. He retired with the Eagles.
All right, you got about 30 seconds.
Katie, this is bull crap that you didn't give me this one.
Oh, you're going to get it, Eric. It's going to go through David and me.
I don't have a clue. I do not know. I will pass.
All right. Okay.
Antoine Randall L. I have no idea.
No, it's not Randall.
I have no idea. I took a guess.
All right,
I
who's
know.
next?
Let me. So this is let's see. I would love to say. No, it's not a linebacker. This is a running back, or a safety, or a cornerback, or maybe a. I don't know. Eric, go ahead.
Okay, I can't believe you guys didn't get this. First of all, Randall L. ended his career with the Steelers, so
I don't know.
This is easy. This is Mike Wallace, and you all should know that because he played for the Ravens.
Ding 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 ding.
Yeah, but he wasn't good with any of them.
Wait, you didn't put Brad Smith, but you put Mike Wallace.
Mike Wallace had some good years.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah. Hey, Mike Wallace is much like George Pickens. He had a good year, so he's a Hall of Famer.
Wow.
Go ahead. All right,
Mike,
David,
it's your number one for you, Jeff.
All right, next one is up.
Our number 3 is going to be your number 1. That's horrible. Oh, how did David get a Bills player? I know this one. I mean, I can't even see.
You don't know this one.
What years
so,
are they?
So Jeff, all right. So it is Buffalo Bills 2004 to 2006, the Baltimore Ravens 2007 to 2010, the Denver Broncos 2011 to 2012, and then the Cleveland Browns in 2013.
Lee Evans. Really?
All right, Jeff, it's on you.
Oh, that was David. To be honest with you, that's the only player that I was thinking about, Lee Evans, because I know he went to Baltimore from Buffalo. Let's see, real quick. This is who played in Cleveland from Buffalo?
Stay off Google. Or
Is he voice chatting? Because I have the answers. So no cheating, Jeff.
Oh, I'm driving a car. I can't even fucking see anything. Listen, as a matter of fact, if my car breaks down right now, I'm very scared of the area in which I'm in. I don't know. I mean, a linebacker. Well, I don't know.
You guys are gonna kick yourself in the face.
Oh, I am. I'm going.
Really? It gives it away. Like one team on here gives it away.
I got this, but Sean, you're next, so go ahead and take a stab at it.
No, I'm not next. You're next.
Am I next?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a really good beer, right? So, I mean, and it's also a historic U.S. person. This is Samuel Adams. No? Oh, my gosh, no?
Nope.
Bitch, it'll get you drunk.
Oh wow! I really stumped y'all with this one. Holy
This is Joe.
Who'd you say?
Joe.
Mama.
Joe Mama.
Oh, I'm not gonna say Joe who. So who's
that? I have no idea who this player is.
No idea?
No idea.
All right. Willis McGahee.
Oh, Willis McGahee. Yeah. I forgot he went to Denver, to be honest with you.
Right. He was in that trio.
Played.
Damn it.
All right. So who's next?
This will be to Jeffrey.
Dave, is it Jeffrey?
You're
Oh,
next,
yeah, it is me. Because David messed up.
All right, so listen up, Jeff. All right, so Green Bay Packers from 1990 to 1994.
I know this. Stop.
Buffalo.
What are you
Shut
typing,
up,
Eric?
David, shut up.
Eric's
Right,
typing.
Hey, let me see your damn hands, Eric. Yeah, keep your hands up, guy. I see what you're doing. Buffalo Bills, 1995 to 1997.
I know this.
Jacksonville Jaguars, 1998 to 1999. And he finished off with Minnesota Vikings in 2000.
So the Packers to the Bills. And then 97. What year did he cut? What year did he get to Buffalo?
1995, and he left in 97.
So it's not James Lofton. Went to Jacksonville. Who went to Jacksonville that I hated when he went there? Fred Taylor was there. Oh man. God. This one's gonna make me angry.
Yep.
It's a cornerback, a corner, and I can't remember his name. Oh, who is it? Ty Detmer.
Ty Detmer?
No, I know it's not Ty Detmer. I know he never played for Buffalo. Yeah, pass on me. Go to Eric or Sean.
All right, go ahead, Sean.
I had no idea.
He's like, I got no idea. Okay.
Cheap bastard. Eric.
All right, who's next?
Is it
over Eric, right?
Is it Doug Peterson?
Nope.
Nope.
I got this one. It's Bryce Pop. Linebacker.
Oh, Bryce Pop.
Ding, 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 ding.
Ding, ding, ding.
I told you I was going to be upset because when he did go to Jacksonville, I was upset because I like Bryce Pop.
All right, here you go. So who's this go to? This goes to, we just did Jeff, right?
No,
Yeah,
Jeff.
okay, it goes back to
Oh,
Sean.
it goes back to number one.
Sean. Sean first.
No, actually, Eric went first.
Or Eric first. I'm sorry.
But I'm going to give up on this one already. So go ahead, Eric.
All right. So, hey, Eric, you ready?
Oh my God.
All right. So, hey. All right.
Michael Vick.
Jeff, you
Oh,
listening?
I got it.
Jeff, you listening?
I'm listening.
All right. Atlanta Falcons, 1989 to 1993.
Oh, this is a boy. You're gonna say the name. You're not gonna say the years. I know who it is. You sorry motherfuckers. This
I
should be my
haven't.
question. Everybody's got it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Eric.
Falcons to Niners, Niners to Cowboys, Cowboys to Commanders, Baltimore Ravens. This is Deion Sanders.
Deion
Ding,
Sanders.
ding, ding.
100%. That's some bullshit. As soon as I saw the teams, I knew exactly. I didn't need to care. I didn't care about the years.
2-0, boys.
All right. So, hey, Eric has a final tally 2-0, right? Nobody else
I got one.
No, David got
2-1.
one.
I'm sorry, 2-1. All right, so Eric is our winner this week. Name that player.
That's bullshit.
All
Yeah,
right.
you
Well,
go
I will
with it,
tell
but
you
Good job, Eric.
the I like the interaction with our listeners and the buy and sell and the who's that player. Although they have said that the who's that player is a tough segment. So KD,
Especially when you put Mike Wallace in there, for Christ's sake.
mellow it down a little bit. You're doing good. We're keeping people.
Hey, you know what we got to do with the who's that player, just to keep it going quickly, is we got to give some clues too. Like they can't be like they got to be like personal clues. Like for instance, when Bill Romanowski came up, if you would have said like broken nose, steroid usage, like you don't have to say like he played hard and you don't have to like give any like NFL stats, but like say something about personal stuff. And then make us guess on something.
Slapped
like
his wife in the head.
Yeah, like his favorite color is orange, and he likes to take walks on the beach. I'd be like, oh my God, it's David. But anyway.
Okay, I'll add some clues to the right side
It's all good.
to make it a little easier.
All right.
I'm just kidding. It's good. I love it.
Here we are, folks. We're at the last couple minutes, and we are going to give someone the final word.
Hey, I don't want the final word before. I want to talk one thing because this was announced last week, but JJ Redick was named the Lakers head coach. So KD, Eric, you guys are NBA guys more than I am. So let me hear your thoughts on JJ Redick, Lakers head coach. KD, go ahead.
Don't care. Wait till the season starts, and then I can formulate my opinion. A lot of people want to write coaches off in June. That's fine. Until we see him lace him up as a coach, I can't sit here and say, hey, great hire or bad hire.
Eric, what are your thoughts on JJ?
God, here we go. This is safe for our chat. This is a who can we get to appease LeBron coaching wise, because no rational coach wants to go coach his ass, because ideally he's going to throw him under the bus and blame him because he doesn't take any accountability. So let's go get the guy on the podcast with him, who was not his podcast, it's LeBron's podcast. And it is what it is. Lakers are a joke, and they'll be a joke. And I hope they draft Bronny in the first round this round, so LeBron can go out there and give his son 30 minutes a game, so he can average 4 points a game.
So can I make a wager with you then, Mr. E? I can almost guarantee you there's a championship expectation. No more than 5 or less. No more than 5 or less expectations on the Lakers team. What do you want to bet? You want to make a wager right here in front of America?
You're telling me, Mr. Glass and Mr. I don't even know what to call LeBron anymore, Mr. Tampon himself. You're telling me that team is going to go out there and win in the West with the Nuggets and all these teams that are coming.
You
Michael
said win. I'm talking about expectations. I'm talking about paper right now. We're talking about paper. We're talking about expectations.
Well, they're like the Cowboys. There's always expectation, but doesn't mean it's going to get there.
But
it's a stupid wager.
If you're sitting here saying what you said is true instead of opinion based, then it would line up with what the expectations were, right or wrong.
How many years has he had? He's had an expectation to win it every year. I mean, he fails expectation. That's why he ain't as good as Jordan.
Right. Okay. So, but those expectations never went away, right or wrong.
Yeah, because he's LeBron. So, I mean, ideally, because the media likes him. I mean, this is a stupid argument. Is there expectation?
All right, hey, you guys can
that makes no sense.
Get that out. Hey, let me say this real quick, and this is again where this is like it's another Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. The decision to hire JJ Redick. It's turned into a racial divide yet again, because they hired a non-experienced white coach, where when I look at and listen to folks, they said there's far more experienced coaches that were former players that happen to be black that aren't coaching. And it's a conversation. Here's the deal. Whether or not I don't necessarily think Eric is wrong in regards to how they can appease LeBron in a sense. But I also think that JJ Redick has done a very good job over the last 3 years of standing toe-to-toe with any single human being on the television and spoke basketball. Not opinions of players and not opinions, but I'm talking about X's and O's, understanding the game. He's a brilliant guy when it comes down to it. And oh, by the way, he probably isn't nearly as expensive as some other folks are. I find it to be interesting because the New York Yankees hired Aaron Boone out of the booth, who had never coached a day in his life. Now, I personally hate Aaron Boone, and I wish he'd get fired at some point. But at the end of the day, he got hired with no coaching experience, and he's been, other than last year because they didn't make the playoffs, he's been successful in the fact that we've been competitive, but he hasn't won a World Series. So at the end of the day, for me, whether like JJ Redick has been coached, JJ Redick has played ball, JJ Redick understands the game. So I don't necessarily care that he doesn't have coaching experience, because I think that everybody's seen the mind in which he's had, right? But I think, like KD says, they got to play the season. And as they start playing, if they're losing, if they are getting destroyed and JJ is not the solution, JJ doesn't last a season. But if the Lakers do great, well, now, that'll be an interesting conversation at the end of the year.
Go ahead, Sean.
Well, I was going to wrap the show where.
I just had one thing to add to this, and then you can wrap it up and give somebody the last word. But my whole thing is this, and this is the only thing that I would say to counter Eric. If LeBron is comfortable with JJ Redick and JJ Redick is comfortable with LeBron, I don't understand what the big deal is opposing the best player in the game right now in LeBron. Okay.
Well, hey, listen, Dave, real quick. LeBron's been comfortable with every coach that he's ever been coached by when they first start. And then there's always the discomfort when LeBron doesn't do what the coach is wanting him to do, and he takes it over. I mean, that's just what it is. So, I mean, Spoelstra's the only like really good coach that LeBron's ever really played with, to be honest, because he's still doing it, right, with or without him. He's not winning without him, but he's still a good coach. But for the most part, everybody else from Brown to, I mean, insert set coaches throughout the career of LeBron James, and typically in the beginning, it's a very good relationship. But as time goes on, one's got to go, and it isn't a coach.
Right. Well, that typically happens to anybody who has an exceptional player and the results aren't there.
The superstar ain't going to coaches.
The superstar ain't going. And then that's just all sports. It's not just basketball. I mean,
no, of course.
Ben Roethlisberger was having – you ain't going to get rid of Ben Roethlisberger before if you're not at Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh is like the anointment of the Pope. You leave when you die. That's a head coaching cycle in Pittsburgh.
All right.
So go ahead.
On that note, we're going to be wrapping the program. First of all, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Please like, share, notify, subscribe, so you can see all of our content. We'll be back next Tuesday. I would love to have George Lodick come on the program. Is he the oldest brother?
Yeah, he's definitely the oldest Lodick.
Oh, George, you got to get on here and slap the shit out of these two.
That won't happen.
Yeah.
Oh, he would slap the. Hey, no, George would slap the shit out of him for sure.
Okay.
You wish.
There you go.
No, I don't wish.
So I'd love to have you on, guys. And so anyway, from us all of us here at From the Couch Sports Talk Radio, have a great week. We'll see you next Tuesday, and keep the comments coming.
Take it easy, folks.